What's good everyone, Infamous Legacy here with another Marvel's Avengers gear guide video. In this gear guide video, I'll be taking a look at Winter Soldier and his legendary module gear set that you guys can only get from the daily Red Room mission objective. So whenever that Red Room event is going on, there is a daily Red Room objective that you will be able to see in your objectives tab. After you complete that daily mission objective, you guys will be able to get rewarded a gear piece from the legendary module gear set. And a quick overview of what the legendary module gear set is, especially for Winter Soldier. It's basically a legendary gear set that contains really good perks that you guys can find useful in terms of making different types of builds for Winter Soldier. And it also comes with Valor and Proficiency and sometimes Intensity and Resilience. I haven't really come across any gear pieces with like Precision and Proficiency or Might and Valor, nothing like that. Most of my pieces do come with like Valor and Proficiency, and here's a quick overview. You guys can see right here. So that's usually what I'm honestly trying to aim for. If I can get Valor and Proficiency and also additional stat, that's really good. But again, I haven't really come across like Might and Proficiency or Valor and Precision on these gear pieces from the legendary module gear set. So with the legendary module gear set, before I go in depth about what pieces you guys really need to aim for, you guys can get an epic version of these gear pieces. However, the epic version, sometimes the perks and stats are not as great. And to get the epic version of those module gear set gear pieces, you go to the helicarrier, you go to Roy. Every day after daily reset, there is a chance you will have one gear piece that is from the module gear set. However, it will be an epic version and it will contain gear perks like this sometimes. Sometimes it will have better stats. So keep that in mind. So that's why I highly recommend when the Red Room event does come back, run the daily Red Room objective so you guys can get those gear pieces from the legendary module gear set. Because there are other heroes as well that'll benefit from that Red Room daily mission objective. For example, I found a crazy piece for Miss Marvel, Iron Man. Kate also has something good. I'll leave a link in the description to another video I did featuring different types of heroes with gear pieces from the legendary module gear set that really benefits them. So make sure you guys check that out. So now let's go ahead and get it started. I'm going to show you guys these crazy perks on these particular gear pieces from the module gear set. And you guys can even let me know how crazy these gear perks are for Winter Soldier. So let's go. Alright, so with the legendary module gear set, there are 3 slots that I really need you guys to pay attention to. That's a heroic slot, the defensive slot, and then the melee slot. And you're probably thinking to yourself, like, come on, Infamous, why not the range slot? Honestly, with the range slot, there really isn't that gear piece that will really, open your mind up and say, you know what, I'm going to use that gear piece. There's really nothing like that. You guys are better off maybe putting on like a Tachyon Surge targeted piece for the slot 2, or maybe another slot 2 from like the Discord and Sound raid. So that's why I haven't really farmed for a gear piece from the Red Room daily objective for the slot 2. It was more for the slot 4, 3, and 1. So, first one is going to be the heroic piece. It's called Bionic Arm Module. I got this with Valor and Proficiency. First perk, Bullet Boom. Self-explanatory. 20% increased critical attack chance from bullet attacks. So, that does consist of your range attacks. Second perk, 40% increased critical chance and normal damage of airstrike against enemies marked for assassination. So this revolves around using 2 assault and ultimate heroic abilities. First, what you'll need to do is when you use Protocol Override, you're going to basically hit all enemies temporarily marked for assassination. Once you've done that, you're going to use your Airstrike Assault heroic ability to do more damage because of this particular gear perk. 40% increased critical chance and normal damage of airstrike against enemies marked for assassination. And then with the last perk, I got it with support assistance. You can also get it with lethal targeted buff. So highly recommend when you guys are trying to farm, make sure you do end up getting it with bullet boon, assassin's airstrike boon breaker, and maybe lethal damage, buff or support assistance. I got this with Valor and Proficiency, and you guys already heard, it can also come with Resilience or Intensity as well. So that's the heroic slot. Now the defensive slot. Honestly, this is probably one of my favorite gear pieces currently in the game, because this can actually be used a lot with any type of Winter Soldier build if you really want to use it. Valor and Proficiency, I got lucky with this. This was the first ever module legendary gear piece I got for Winter Soldier from the daily Red Room event. So first perk, Rampant Assistance, 3.2 increased heroic charge rate while overcharged. And you guys already know my Hawkeye builds, you guys seen how fast I got my heroics while I was overcharged. So you can kind of do a similar thing with this particular perk with Winter Soldier. And then we also have another overcharge perk, 10% increased damage while overcharged. And you guys already know when you're overcharged, it's basically when that intrinsic meter is completely full, you're in an overcharged state. And then we have Bullet Boon, 20% increased critical attack chance from bullet attacks. So another perk with Bullet Boon. And come on, you combine both of these together, you know they're stacking. And I got this with Valor and Proficiency. So this is probably the best gear piece you guys can obtain from the module gear set. So make sure you guys try and get this defensive slot. Last but not least, this is the melee slot. This melee slot I actually might be using with a lot of my builds in the future that you guys will be seeing. I got this with Valor, Intensity, and Proficiency. First perk, Protocol Override. This is helping your shotgun attacks. When they're supercharged, they deal additional damage and making it like a heroic attack that scales off your Valor. So that's revolving around your heroic rating too. And then the middle perk, I got this with Cosmic Status Effect. I've also seen it drop with Shock and Cryo. But shotgun attacks inflict cosmic damage. Obviously, if you're getting Protocol Override Shotgun with this particular gear piece, you might as well make sure you get shotgun attacks inflict some sort of status, because it does help out. And then I got another overcharge perk where it's called Rampant Boon, 20% increased critical attack chance while overcharged. So this also includes your melee, your range rating, your range attacks. So when you're overcharged, you'll do 20% increased critical attack chance while overcharged. So really great piece right here, especially for a range type Winter Soldier build. So definitely recommend this as well. And I'm also now going to show you guys a couple variations of the melee slot, because I did come across a couple interesting gear pieces within the melee slot that you guys might also find useful. And keep in mind, again, with all these gear pieces from the melee to the defense to the heroic, it's very RNG based. So sometimes you might get the perks, but you might not have the proper stats. Sometimes you will have the proper stats, but not the right perks. So it is going to take you time taking advantage of that daily Red Room mission objective once that Red Room event does happen, because you are probably going to be completing that mission objective every day to try and get these kind of gear pieces. It honestly took me the complete 2 weeks while the event was going on to get these gear pieces. So let me show you another example of the melee slot. So we got Knife Module right here. It can come with the lightweight buff. So Chance Light Combo Finishers grants a damage buff that increases damage while active. And then I got Shotgun Attacks deal Cryo. The middle perk can also come with Signature Attacks and Knife Attacks. Obviously on a gear piece like this with these kind of perks, I highly prefer to have Knife Attacks inflict Cryo, or maybe Signature Attacks inflict Cryo, but it is what it is. But something that might be useful for your hybrid or melee build. And then I also got Rampant Boon, 20% increased critical attack chance while overcharged. So that's another variation. Let me show you one more. You guys can see I have all these gear pieces, so let's take that away. All right, here's another variation of the knife module melee piece. Again, got it with proficiency, resilience, and valor. I got shotgun attacks, inflict cosmic as well, but you can see the third perk is different. So this is regarding your like press to charge boon skill from Winter Soldier. Allowing press to charge to sit for 5 seconds after it has attached to a surface increases the critical hit chance by 100%. So what that basically means is, we'll go to skills right here. We'll go to range attacks, and it is right over here. Here's press to charge. So this revolves around your grenade. So when your grenade gets stuck to like the floor, you can manually like make it explode. But after going back to, you know, after a couple seconds or so, you have a chance to do at least 100% crit damage. So let's go back to the gear piece and go through this inventory locker. You guys can see I keep a lot of gear pieces for my heroes. So right there, for a couple seconds, up to 5 seconds after it has attached to a surface, increase the critical hit chance by 100%. So something else that you guys can get within the melee slot from the daily Red Room event. And there is one more. Okay, here's another version. So I got lightweight buff, you guys saw that already on the other piece. Shotgun, you saw that. It also can come with knife boon. So my ideal, you know, other melee slot that I'll try and attempt to go for the next time the event does come back will be getting lightweight buff, where light combo finishers can grant a damage buff. And then I would love to make sure the knife attacks deal cryo, or signature attacks deal cryo. And then I will make sure I have knife boon, 17.3 increased critical attack chance from knife attacks. So knife boon is another perk you guys can get on the melee slot. And I also got this with valor and proficiency. So I got really lucky with the stats. A lot of my melee pieces really didn't come with the right perks, but I'm telling you guys, it's all about luck. And hopefully when this event does come back and you guys run that daily objective, you guys are blessed with getting those, you know, crazy gear pieces with the best stats and the best perks. So quick overview, went over the heroic piece, went over the defensive slot, went over so many different versions of the melee slot. Overall, the defensive slot is highly what I recommend because of these crazy perks on this particular gear piece, also with the stats it does come with. And then you guys can definitely go with the melee slot and then the heroic slot. Winter Soldier has been one of those heroes, honestly, where a lot of his gear pieces from various gear sets in the game has really benefited him. So shout out to Alex and the devs working on his gear perks and everything when it comes to certain gear pieces, because he's probably one of the best heroes I've come across where he has amazing gear perks on a lot of gear pieces. So shout out to the devs for that. So those are all the gear pieces that I really want to showcase to you guys from the legendary module gear set. If you guys do have any questions, let me know in the comments below. Until next time, I'm out. You guys take care. Peace.